Hello, everybody. We're good to go. We're good to go. Y'all, listen, I have been trying to do the two lives at once. I think we got it. But today, I have the opportunity to choose. I bet y'all don't know who that is. Hello, everybody. Hello. That's my girl. I was always too concerned about what everybody would be. But I can live for everybody. Gotta live a life for me. I reached the fork in the road of my life. Yeah. Less I decide. Hello, everybody. Hello, Facebook. Hello, IG. How are you guys? Yes. I do. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Y'all listen, I told y'all I got it going on because I got both lives going on at once. Listen, this is the small victories, all right? It's the small victories. Today is day 2 of the Me versus Me movement, and I'm super excited, y'all. Listen, again, yesterday was day 1. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I don't want her to drown me out. Yesterday was day 1, and it was authenticity versus or over commonality. And so a lot of people responded in my story when I asked on yesterday, what keeps you from being authentic? And I actually had a few people that had a lot of the same responses. And what were those responses? Basically, it was really hard for them to be their authentic selves, simply because they're afraid of rejection or not being accepted. And oh my gosh, those responses, I'm literally taking those piece by piece, and we're going to create a whole TikTok concerning those particular responses. But today we're going to be focusing on what's day 2. Day 2, we're going to be focusing on obedience and rebellion. Obedience over rebellion. A lot of the times when let me stop this real quick. A lot of the times, you guys, we focus in on what makes us feel good. But before I go really deep, I want us to, and I won't go too deep because I'm going to say those for our Tea Talk parties for sure. Right now, we're just going to be focusing on the, maybe a little, we're going to scratch the surface, of course, and we may go a little bit, we may have a little depth to it, but we're not going to go super deep because we'll be on here for hours. Okay. So I want you guys to definitely tune in, continue to tap in and focus in on those things that the Lord has put on my heart. Okay. So let's get right into it. This time, this is the second day. Throughout the entire month, let me go ahead and get this out the way. Throughout the entire month, we're going to be, getting prepared to become better versions of ourselves, right? We're going to be preparing ourselves and opening up our hearts to the Lord so that He can do whatever He needs to do in us, for us, right? And so we have to allow Him to do it, and that's our biggest responsibility in this. Our biggest responsibility is to allow the Lord to do it, because He won't do it if we don't allow Him to do it. We have to give Him permission, right? We have to give Him permission. So Facebook and IG, we're about to dive right in it. We know it's not going to be easy transitioning and transforming for the sake of our better selves and for the sake of our future. But we do know that in all things, God will never fail us if we allow Him to help us through it all. So what is obedience, guys? Again, we won't be on here long. Let's just ride the wave with me. What is obedience? Obedience. We hear obedience is better than sacrifice. Yes, but what is obedience? What is obedience? How can obedience really help us be the next big thing in our own lives? not what society is saying, or not what society is looking at, or not comparing, not what society compares, but you want to be your next big thing in yourself. You want to ask yourself, how in the world can I be better than I am right now? And so we're focusing in on obedience. How does obedience pertain to that? Who are we obeying? Like, come on now. Who are we obeying? Who's our focal point? What in the world are we focusing on? Who are we trying to please? Who are we trying to obey? And so, of course, I looked up obedience. I just love to do different forms of research. I love to do research, period. But obedience is always viewed as doing something simply because somebody tell you to do it. I'm just telling you to do it, so do it. And of course, your parents say, I need you to be obedient. If I tell you to do something, you need to do it. And you're like, okay, mom, I want to be obedient, so I'm going to do it. You're my mom, you're my guardian, so I'm going to do it. Your teacher tell you, I need you to do this because I need you to do it. We trust, of course, that our teacher is knowing, they know what they do. They know what they're doing, and they know what they're talking about. So of course, we're going to be obedient. We're going to obey and follow their commandments, or whatever their rules are, or on our job, we're gonna obey the commandments of the boss. We're gonna do that because that's what they require. Now, obedience pertaining to our self-development, those outside areas is a great thing. That's really good. Those are really good habits to build. But when it gets really, really dangerous, when you start obeying the wrong thing and the wrong voices, right? And you start obeying even yourself, you start putting yourself before God, and you start thinking what you say and what you're doing is better than what someone else, right? What someone else could let's see, you're putting your thoughts, you're putting the thoughts of others, you're putting their expectations on you, you're putting them before what God is having before you, right? Makes sense? We're gonna break that down just a little bit more. Let's see, it's been paused. Oh, I'm back, IG. I'm back. Okay, so in other words, we want to make sure that we are focusing in on who we are obeying, okay? Who we are obeying. So let's go down to the obedience of God. So of course we want to be better in God. So let's break down exactly what that means and what that looks like. Obedience, hear me well and listen to these words carefully. So obedience means to hear, trust. We're talking about obedience to God now. Obedience, it means to hear, trust, submit, and surrender to God. Okay? And his word. Now, listen, a lot of the times, because we don't really understand what obedience look like or what it means, we lack thereof. We don't really know what obedience look like, or we don't know what it is. We don't know how to do it. We forget the hows and we forget to do those things. We forget how. Okay.